Hello, welcome to ShireenACT's chat. This is the actor's struggle.
Without the extras, without the crew, without the main artist, you can't do your production.
Those three things are quite difficult for people to cast.
4 jobs running at the same time. I want to do them all.
Black Panther 50k for the year, you're not going to say no to that, like, really.
I like the idea of having a camera. If I get it wrong, I can do it again.
Yeah.
I think you're amazing.
The girl next door type.
And it's like, what is the
What is the girl next door?
One person said he was doing 3 shows in a day.
We would be the same.
And I walk in and then the whole script gets changed.
I think you're average.
And it is exciting. Sometimes you might see a celebrity walk past.
That job that I declined could have been my big break.
What?
Today I've got 2 guests with me who are going to introduce themselves now.
Hi, I'm Morgan Archer, actor and writer.
And I'm Bookie, actor and model.
Ooh,
Occasionally.
Very fancy. Occasionally. What type of modelling is this?
Not glamour modelling.
Well, you do look very
I've
glamorous.
seen
so.
you in the sun, surely. No.
Oh, Morgan. Anyway.
Yes, moving on.
That's not what I do, guys. No, I don't
It's a
do
joke.
that.
It's a joke. Doesn't do these things. Don't look for it.
In terms of, say, your journey so far, when did it start, and what would you say you know your highlights so far have been?
I've always been acting ever since I was quite young, so acting out of school, getting beats at home, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I did theatre studies up north, Notre Dame College in Leeds, so that's where the accent comes from, in case anyone wants to know. So I did that for 2 years, and I figured it'd be nice to go down to London and see how we go then after that. So that was a few years ago. I won't say exactly how when.
It's girls that hide their age, surely.
I'm just saying, black don't cry, that's what I'm saying.
He's really 50.
I'm not 50. Just in case anyone's thinking, the next Black Panther, we can put you in, but you have to be under 50.
It's not a dating app. Come on.
Just saying. It could be, you never know.
Ladies,
As
watch
I
out.
was saying, I came down to London and I've been part-time, so I was doing salesman roles just to live, because you need to do that. And about 3-4 years ago, I just figured, you know what, I don't really want to do selling anymore, like phones or for other people. I kind of want to do it for myself. So I set up my own business, writing, and try and do things more professionally as an actor. And touch wood, it's been going quite well as a full-time actor and writer. So
Wow.
that is the journey in a nutshell.
Acting in school, did a few plays, had a very high interest in acting. Didn't pursue it due to life,
Yeah.
and decided to go into it recently, doing extras work. Nothing major, but I've really been enjoying the extras work. I've done some adverts, done some films, done some TV. I had the opportunity to model on TV as well.
Oh my gosh. Was that modelling clothes or?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
wow.
morning.
You were one of those women.
Yeah.
Did you get to keep the clothes?
Yes. I
Oh
did.
wow. Okay, maybe you got a
I
shirt.
don't know why that's.
That's actually pretty cool. Right?
This is what I mean. That for me is great. Primetime TV. If you have those clothes, I want to see them.
Well, they might have been passed on.
Oh,
to-
okay. Because they weren't that great this morning.
Anyway, moving on.
Do tell us, what else do you do? Because you're not just a creative.
I am studying to be a nurse, so an adult nurse. I'm coming to my final year, and it's very nerve-wracking.
What interests me about your lifestyle is the fact that for us, say full-time actors, that's all we kind of live off, is the fact that we have to kind of juggle all of our acting bits together, whereas you have got a full-time, say, job, a degree you're doing, and you're still finding the time to kind of fit it all in. You've probably both met people doing, say, extra work who are full-time lawyers or...
This is their full-time job. They're working as extras, but they're doing 2-3 extra jobs a day. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How do you juggle that? I'd be stressed.
I'm glad it's working for you both, and I'm glad, to have you both here. And that's what it's about, just to hopefully inspire someone or a group of people or a generation, even just to say, it can work for you and you can make it work any way you like. So to begin, I'm going to show you a VT of a place where I was a few months ago, and it's going to hopefully tell us a bit more about why I wanted to call this episode The Actor's Struggle.
So today it happened. Offered the gig of a lifetime, biggest thing in my career so far. Why is it so hard? It just clashes with everything. You weigh up not wanting to burn bridges with the people that, give you the jobs in between your acting. But then you don't want to turn down a huge opportunity. I'd really like to ask, these big stars how they juggle their diary and how did they make it work? Because you're trying to make a living. You're trying not to do a job that you don't enjoy, so you try and find acting jobs. This feeling, it's like mixed emotions. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm proud, and then I'm frustrated and annoyed and confused. You have 3 days in your diary. Why can't the work just fit into those days? Why does it have to clash with things? I want to cry and I want to laugh. Oh, I guess it's a good thing. I'm being offered work. I'm working. These are all positive things. Gosh, these tough decisions.
As creatives, living the dream versus the reality of everything. I mean, I was in a place where I felt like I really want to do these jobs. In the end, they all did work out. So, I was worrying for nothing, as we often do, trying to juggle. But there is highs and lows with this industry. It never is kind of plain sailing. It's not glamorous. I mean, you were on This Morning. You could probably share how that was. It probably wasn't as glamorous as it seems. I mean, you didn't keep the clothes, so that.
It's probably, as you're probably well aware, lots of rejection. So that when you go in for auditions, there's when you're doing acting or even when you're doing background work, sometimes you have to audition in front of people, and sometimes it's nerve-wracking because you don't know what they look like. So there's lots of rejections because most of the jobs that I get, there's about 100 more or 10 more or 15 or 20 or whatever that I didn't get. So I always feel good when I've got a job because it's like I earned the job, but it's kind of getting used to that rejection. And obviously because I come from a sales background, it's good because sales is all about that. It's all about going through those no's until you find that one yes. It's a bit difficult when you're self-employed, and obviously if you have financial responsibilities like rent and food and travel, it's quite expensive to be an actor as well because you've got to do headshots, you've got to keep up to date with subscriptions, you've got to travel to the auditions. Sometimes it's not just in London, it's outside of London, sometimes it's abroad. It can take a toll if you're mentally not together and organised. I think that's the thing. If you're not organised and thinking to yourself, you know what, I just need to focus on the day-to-day or the next minute to minute or hour to hour. If you start thinking too far ahead, I find it a bit overwhelming. And obviously with the RVT there, obviously sometimes it's just easy just to get it out. Sometimes you just have a little cry. Even men cry. Have a shout, go to the gym, just release it, and then say, okay, we got that out of the way. What do we need to do now to focus on the next step? Because you can only do one job at a time. I've seen you come in after doing a shift, a night shift, and then she wakes and she's there for 6-7 o'clock, and I'm like, when did you sleep? And it's like, I haven't slept. I haven't slept really. Only an hour or 2 hours. I'm thinking, nah, it's mad. Were you on the Mission Impossible film where it had to be redone again?
Is that when he broke his ankle?
Where he broke his ankle. So what happened? The funny thing is that, well, not the funny thing, because it's not nice that Tom Cruise broke his ankle.
Why did everyone else have to reshoot?
So what happened was that Tom Cruise was doing the latest Mission Impossible film, so he broke his ankle when he did the stunt. So, but they didn't finish the shoot, so they had to come back. So that was in July, so I think or June, and then it was 6 months later to do the same scene again. But 6 months later, it's Christmas time, it's snowing, it's freezing, and they have to do it outdoors. But you have to wear the same sort of clothing as if you were at summertime. So people are freezing, going blue,
having to pretend
it's okay. So, and you have to do that for continuity. The same people sometimes you have to keep your same beard, you have to keep the same look. So as an actor, it's a bit strange because sometimes you want to change your look for another job, but you have to keep the same look just in case you needed for another job later on down the line. So it's a bit of a juggle, to be honest with you, but it's fun, but it is hard work.
No, it is, and interesting just picking up on like the hours and things. Again, the flip side, doing the job I did last year, which was for the BBC, that was lovely. I mean, compared to the extra work I've done, I had a call time that it was early, but someone came and picked me up. So again, I didn't have to worry about travelling, say, 2 hours to get to this place. Also, they'd put me up, which is another, I think, benefit you get sometimes. So you're in a comfortable place, you've had a good night's sleep, and you kind of know what's the plan for the next day. Because I often find sometimes you're not communicated to what the plan is as well, so you're kind of just waiting around. But again, that's a negative. But I think that's for me, because I try, as I was saying, I tend not to do background work now. I want to just be seen more for lead roles, and I've heard that it can kind of clash and not look good for you if you're doing that. But also, you do get treated better, and it's sad to say, but that's what happens. So in terms of my day now, I had like, I think 4 scenes, but the way they'd done it, because being the lead role, you're kind of, all your scenes are back to back if you're in one location, and even in between that you kind of put in a nice green room to keep warm, or you're shuttled across to the next place, and then as the extras sometimes you're just sitting on a cold bus, or you might even have to make your own. You were saying?
We were sitting, our green room was a double-decker bus.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
And it was cold. I mean, they had heating installed, which kind of worked from about up here to here.
Oh gosh.
But the rest of my legs, I think, had gone blue.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the waiting around, the call times, like you said, hoping to get a job and you don't get it.
Again, planning your diary as well. Yeah.
You've got 2 things and you think, oh my god, like, I really, really want to do this one. I really, really want to do this one. Which one can I do? And you try your best and they don't work out. You feel disappointed. You think, what if? But you can't look at it like that, because every opportunity is a new opportunity. You never know what's going to come along, and
it happens for whatever happens for a reason, I guess.
There's a reason why you didn't end up going to that one,
Exactly.
or you auditioned for that particular job and you didn't get it, because sometimes you think bigger and better's coming.
Absolutely.
Not always.
Not always.
But I think in your case, it worked out well for you.
It did, yeah.
And I've had to say no to a few things and thinking, oh my god, this opportunity could have been great, but at the same time, doing the job might have compromised something else. So you really have to think ahead. It's really difficult to you just have to kind of plan day to day. I literally got called like the night before. I was exercising in my living room and I had a call from the agency. Like, I didn't pick up the call because I didn't recognise the number. I'm a bit funny, things like that. And then they sent me a message saying, we need you tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
And I was on a night shift, so I did the same thing again. So I went to the night shift, finished my night job, and literally went public transport. Luckily I got there on time.
I think one of the last extra jobs I did, it was for the Spooks movie. So again, sounds all glamorous, doesn't it? It was for the BBC, so again, I've always held them quite highly in how they treat their artists. But as of this day, so what we were doing, you'll see the scene, I think it's like the opening scene of the film where we're all in cars. So we were practically just in cars all day, which was fine by me. But it came to lunchtime or a break time. First, it was the whole coffee situation. So there was this nice little coffee van making all these nice lattes and frappers and all this. And they were like, no, you guys, you're over there. So by the bus.
That's another thing, sorry to cut you.
It's
you
right.
get fed differently to the
You
other actors.
really do.
So the main actors will get good food, and then the extras and background will get a different food. Sometimes.
Yeah. I think if you're in a small, like your one, maybe because you were a small group of extras. Well, there we go. But if there's hundreds of you, it's different. So again, it's like if you can pick and choose.
I don't know why food is such a big thing.
No, but it is because that's what you look forward to. If you've got there at 7, you don't necessarily get breakfast as well. Sometimes they're a bit funny if you can, and you're not eating till say 1, 2, and that's if they're running on time.
It's crap food.
And if you're bored as well,
exactly.
all you're thinking about is food.
So then lunchtime comes around and we're all getting ready to go to eat. This is about 80 extras or something. Everyone's been in their cars. So again, we go over thinking, it's food, we're queuing up, and then one of the ADs or some staff are like, sorry, can we just let the crew go first? And we're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, obviously the main cast probably getting their food from some special servery or something anyway, like you can see the little boxes. So again, it's just like, the extras, just get put to the bottom of the pile, and it annoys me because I feel like without the extras, without the crew, without the main artist, you can't do your production. So why is there this hierarchy? We should all be treated the same. Talking about sacrifices that we sometimes have to make, whether that's sleep. I know you were talking a bit about having to come from night shifts to go into to do. There was a job you said you did, and she'd met you.
It was. That was the Vitality one, I think. So that was. I was already there in the shoot. It was like a 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock start. Yeah. And then you came a bit later, straight from
night shift.
So how long was your whole working day that day?
I mean, we left probably about 5.
5 or
And
6.
I think that the hardest thing, I'm not going to complain about the weather like a typical British person, but it was hot that day.
Very hot.
So, and a lot of sitting around. So can you imagine how much that added to the tiredness as well? Yeah, there's sacrifices that I don't need to do.
It's like with the VT I showed you, where I was in a position of like, I've got 4 jobs running at the same time. I want to do them all. And I got so stressed. I mean, it all worked out luckily, but it was just that moment of finding out, oh my gosh, I've got this big job that I think is potentially could change my career. Obviously, I wanted to do that, but then I've committed to these other jobs that aren't as well paid, but they're the jobs that keep you going in between jobs.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, what do I do? Mess up this potential job that will be around when I've done this job, which is like 1 or 2 days, or do I just take this other opportunity? And it's, I don't know, it's like a sacrifice of, what would that be? Passion? I don't know, because I enjoy it all, but I don't know what I'm sacrificing. Am I sacrificing? Or is it just juggling my diary? And
It's
It's a bit of juggling. And you always think, I could try and do all of them, but then you think, nah, there's no way I can, unless... You just have to be honest and just say, look, I can't do it, I'm really sorry. It's painful, isn't it?
No, it is. And I used to, I do this.
Because you just think, what if? It's always what
you never
if.
know.
What if that job that I declined could have been my big break, or I could have met someone that's going to take me on my journey a bit further.
Exactly, because look at all the
Who
people that you
knows?
meet on these extra jobs.
But there's always a reason why you chose that one over that one.
It's very true.
Do you feel you've had to sacrifice anything?
Yeah, spending time with loved ones, family, when you're trying to balance not only the jobs but also the work, because you actually have to spend time kind of relaxing and before looking for that next job, and it just takes up a bit of time. Because it's a job and it's a career, you have to dedicate yourself to it, and therefore certain other things kind of go on a bit on the back burner a little bit. Sometimes friends, family, just going out in general.
We obviously, me and you both from up north, being in London. I
Yes.
think we moved here for the same reason, just to be closer to the work.
Yeah.
But I have to sacrifice going to family events sometimes, and that is sometimes. I do this contract. It's not acting, but it's something I do each year because it's a guaranteed kind of block of work, and that always hits my nephew and brother's birthday. So I just always know I'm going to miss their birthday.
Constantly.
And it's expensive, so it's like money as well.
Money
You
and
go
I
to
don't know, would it be cheaper for you to drive?
I thought this, and I don't know.
I don't think so. Petrol, then you have to maintain the car, insurance,
That's
true.
VAT, service.
And potentially,
Actually, if I did have a car, I'd probably park on the outskirts and get a tube in anyway, so I'd
So
still
it's
be
still
spending
very-
the money on.
Yeah.
That's why I
Money.
decided, let me just move here. So where I am now, I've got, I think, a cheaper rent. It feels quite cheap for London, and then I'm able to commute around as best I can to get to these auditions. So I think it's just that balance, isn't it? So how do you find that work balance and enjoyment of, like, do you have to do any kind of hospitality jobs, or is there anything else you do to kind of earn cash?
Yes, I have to work around that. That's why it was a hobby. But then I don't want it to overshadow what I'm, my career to be. But sometimes you kind of want to, you're thinking, oh, that can wait. I don't have to go to that lecture.
well, I can imagine.
Because it is fun, isn't it? There is like this fun fact, and it is exciting. Sometimes you might see a celebrity walk past, and it's like, oh, okay, or get, I don't know, nice food or clothes, free clothes.
But no, I need to work because this won't pay. It won't pay my bills.
So for you, the balance would always have, like, your career and study would always
definitely.
overshadow it.
Yeah.
But if someone said Black Panther 50k for the year, you're not going to say no to that. Like, really, I know it's a stretch to miss maybe 1 or 2 lectures, but you're going to do it for T'Challa.
Would you? This is the thing. I think I would.
I have to do it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Wakanda's calling.
I'd have to do it.
Yeah.
It's the same for you, Morgan.
Of
It's
course.
a once in a lifetime
Yeah, but
opportunity.
It's easier for me because once you make that transition to be full-time acting, it's kind of like, okay, this is where we're going from that. But you have to balance it out with trying to get more continual work, because you were saying that you kind of have some set jobs where you can work where you know you're going to get it. With myself, it's slightly different, whereby I need to balance out doing a bit of background and extra work with also getting some featured roles in maybe corporate videos or commercials. So it's getting the balance right, and then when you see an opportunity and you can latch onto a bigger opportunity, maybe in a feature or in maybe in a short film or a TV show, you've got that base going, I've made enough money, so I can take a risk on this, take a risk on that.
No, it is. And you know what? Again, I'm fond of both of your kind of paths, because you obviously are living off just acting work or writing, and obviously I've chosen not to do, say, extra work and stuff, and now I have to find work through my other jobs that I do, which aren't acting at all. One's like school workshops, and the other one is it's like working with students, so it's not even acting related. So I love the fact that you're still just filling your whole diary with acting stuff and keeping it creative, because you then get to do that all the time, which I guess is great. Do you find sometimes your extra work clashes? Is that ever a problem? And how?
Sometimes it can do. So sometimes they might say they want to block you for like 2 or 3 days for a larger film set, and then something might come along on the same day for a commercial. Normally how I work it is whoever books me first books me, not necessarily, because what they like to try and do is provisionally book you.
It's that whole, your pencils.
You're penciled in,
for
exactly.
5 days, and you just think, okay.
So what I try and do,
what can I do?
Is book both of them, because there'll be pencil for both of them, and then wait and see which one books, and then I got the choice of whichever one, and then I'll say yes to whichever one I feel is the best one.
I've tried to do that, it's backfired.
Sometimes it can back. Don't get me wrong.
What, you've ended up with none? Or?
Sometimes
I've
you
had to
can.
cancel personal.
That happened in the past, but normally what I try and do is wait until the last minute, because now I know that they'll wait until literally the last minute before saying yes or no. So I'll wait until one of them says I am booked, even if it's literally a few hours before I'm meant to go in, and then I'll say to the other one, all right, forget it, and just keep it moving.
No, you do. And I learned that the pencil just means like we like you, but there's a pool of people that we like.
Exactly.
A heavy pencil now means we really like you. You're more than likely going to do it, but it's still a pencil.
Exactly.
So until you're confirmed, that job isn't yours. Exactly. And it's the same like with lead roles as well. So if the lead roles probably aren't even confirmed, the extras are going to be, again, the last to probably even be confirmed. And it is last minute, like hours before. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have you had that? Literally same day?
I had it. It didn't work out that they unpenciled me. Like I just got let go. But yeah, it was literally hours before. I was like, I'm meant to be there this afternoon. But what's happening? And then last minute, it's like, no, we've gone in a different direction.
And imagine if you had someone else that you booked for, and you cancelled because you felt that was a better job for you. You got no money.
That's why I couldn't be in this life. It's so unpredictable.
Like in my situation, it's like I had work that was booked. I was doing the work, and it was like a new job had come up that was better. It was like me getting a Black Panther call, but it's like, oh, I've got this little thing to do. So it's like you want to, but then you don't want to tread on the people that have helped you, because there's that saying, you don't want to step on people on the way up or something. You want to, because you might see them again on the way down. So it is find that personal balance, isn't it? Because again, if you really want to go to that family event or social event as well, that should also be a priority in your life. You shouldn't just say, I'm going to just do this thing. But it's interesting. Gosh. The question is, like, why are you doing it? Is it, I don't know, for fame, money? I don't know, just social aspects?
I've always wanted to do acting, to be fair to you. I've always felt like it's something that I've always wanted to be a joker and try and get an attention. It started out probably with my family, so being the middle child, it was just trying to make sure that they knew I was there in the room, so I was always acting out. And then after a while I was like, I can make a living at this, and I was like, okay, I should try it. So after doing the theatre studies up north, coming down to London, hard knocks in London, but yeah, you just stick at it and eventually you'll make a career for yourself, to be fair to you. But I do it because I love it, and to be fair, I don't want to do anything else. And if I'm happy doing this, I made a decision like 2-3 years ago, if this is what makes me happy, that's all I want to do. Let's not distract myself by doing some other job that I'm not going to be happy doing. Let's try and make what I'm happy with doing.
That's so nice. And you know what, you said it there, like just like happiness, isn't it? Doing it to make you happy.
Yeah.
I'm interested that you said you were the middle child and you felt you needed to do it.
Oh yeah.
Scene? What was that?
The oldest is a boy, so my brother's a boy, and my sister is the youngest, and she's a girl. So me, I'm like the spare. It's like they don't need me. It's like they've got the two of the kids. So I was always like, Mom, I'm still here. Dad, I'm still here. This is me. I'm here. I'm Morgan. I'm here. So it was always that kind of acting up, making them laugh, kind of doing stupid stuff, getting beats because of it. But
really?
And then it kind of evolved from there.
In like school as well, you like always.
Oh yeah, the Joker,
class clown,
class clown, got beatings, and then just
in school. What?
No, not in school. That was after they called my mum and dad up and said he's acting up again, and then I'd get home and get beaten.
I can't imagine you getting into trouble in school.
Loads of times.
You seem like such just a sweet, pleasant boy.
I know.
It's the accent, isn't it? There,
It's the accent. It's northern.
Not sure about that.
How about you? Are you
For fun.
Yeah.
Just really like to express that part of my personality through acting and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was it maybe for a couple of years I thought possibly this could be a career, but then I've had someone mention something to me or kind of have a little pep talk and
the reality hits? It's like
is that a career that you think it's going to pay the bills? And it's like yeah, maybe not actually. When you're young and you're influenced really easily by people's opinions, you think actually, I mean, if you're strong-minded and you really want something, you will do it regardless of what anyone says, But I think for me, I just thought, oh well, I can just do it as a hobby, and I kind of left it behind for years. And it was only a couple of years ago where I decided that actually, let me try a bit of this. And I mean, it's only background work, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the improvising and the people directing you and giving you things to do, and it's quite nice.
It's interesting actually hearing that, because I guess the scale of acting or performing could be so wide. For me now,
It could be anything from miming in the background.
to having to do this big long speech or something.
To having a
There's times where we're not even seen, but I'm like, I know I was in this scene.
I know I was there, and that's part of acting.
Yeah.
I was there. I was nodding my head. I was moving like that.
People always say to me, like, have you not watched it back? Like, you think that you was in as an extra, and I'm like, no, just to see my elbow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just know in my head that I was in
Yeah,
that.
I stopped
so.
watching those
I don't.
bits that are just me in the background, blurred out. It's like, what is the point? But I kind of know it's me just from the.
Really, you take away the day from it, like the
Yeah.
people you met, the things you did, like the fact you met us through extra work as
I
well.
know,
It's like,
amazing.
It's crazy.
Oh.
Oh, guys.
I feel a moment coming along. I would come over for the hug.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Have you done any theatre?
Because I know what I'm like. I'll get bored after the week,
And
and
I'll be
I'll be
like,
like,
oh,
I have to do this for
no,
another
yeah,
3
we
weeks
have
doing the
to do
same
this,
characters,
yeah.
same roles, and I'm like, unless it's something like big, like I don't know,
Black Panther? No, I'm joking.
Black Panther, the show,
the musical.
the musical.
We keep talking about Black Panther.
We do,
Because it's Black Panther too.
I feel like it's gonna happen.
Put it into the atmosphere, guys.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel like the Peter.
We've got the look, guys. We've got the look.
Unless it's something I'm truly like, I need to do this, like something seminal moment where I need to do it. I don't really want to do theatre unless it's something really.
Actually,
juicy.
theatre's not something that interests me. And actually, I started doing not theatre, but in school. That's kind of
Live.
yeah. And that was where I kind of started. Doing all of that.
Well, I
But
think you
it
do,
just-
because it comes from school. You do
Yeah,
little
and
live
it just-
little shows.
It doesn't really interest me. Actually, that's one thing I don't feel.
I'll speak to some people, and theatre is their thing. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love it. I love being live. I love doing it every night and changing, mixing it up. But for me, I'm like you. I get bored.
And I can't sing anyway.
Well, there is straight theatre
Yeah, you
you're
don't
talking. But,
I like the idea of having a camera. If I get it wrong, I can do it again.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't have to have an audience necessarily that's scrutinising me potentially, or has an expectation. I know the director's there, and it's potentially his expectation. But with film, I know I've got another chance, and I don't know. There's just I prefer film and TV. And
I think you're amazing on stage.
bless
Sorry.
it. No, I enjoy it, but it has to be short periods of time. I did a 2-week run last year.
Done.
this other one was.
I think you're amazing. I think that's your.
To be fair, I think is it Denzel? He said something like you should do theatre. It keeps you like fresh.
I think you should do a mixture, because
Yeah.
he does a mixture. He'll do theatre for a bit, and he'll do the odd movie, and then he'll do maybe, I don't think he does much TV, but he'll do theatre and movies and break it up, which is a good thing
think you
if
should.
you have a part that you think is worthwhile. It's just that I know for me it has to be something where it's really worthwhile, or else
Maybe a couple of
might be-
days, but not. Oh God, no.
Yeah, not like a year like these musicals people do.
Yeah, but I mean
Yeah,
that's big.
contracts.
They must enjoy. They must
No,
love it.
not all of them, because I was speaking
And
to
they're
one
doing
guy.
2 shows, and they could be doing like.
Yeah,
2 shows.
matinees as well.
They do. One person said he was doing 3 shows in a day.
What?
3 shows a day, because he was a dancer, and he says that I've done them contract ones for 12, and there's some days where we do it how did he drop it? He said 10, 2, and I think it's 7.
Oh my god.
So he was doing it, like I said, 3, and I said 3. I said, me, I couldn't do that.
Was that like a West End show? Or?
I think it was West End show, but he was touring. He said he was touring as well, so it was a 12-month contract of him touring.
Yeah,
stuff.
touring is a whole
And I'm
other
like,
thing as well.
mate, traveling all over. I mean, it's all right if
The
you want to
same
try it.
character, the same songs,
Oh.
the same script.
Plus, you're traveling now.
Yeah.
Now you're traveling.
Are you living with these people potentially as well?
But at least the good thing is you're moving from city to city. You're not in the same spot.
You've
You
got
know.
to pull out the little positive motives, or and again go back to why you're doing this, because it's like, okay, I'm doing it for either the money or this.
I would love to ask.
It's different people, like you said, different people love it. Like certain actors, they love theatre, they love that immediacy, they love the audience and that electricity and things like that. I don't mind it, it's just that I know full well if I'm playing the same role over and over again, after a while, I'll get bored and I'll start doing silly things. I'll do silly things on stage and then I might mess up the lines and then that will become a disaster.
I like to be able to just see the end in sight, know that it's next week I'll be finished.
Exactly.
Not that, I've got a 12-month contract.
If it's 2022 when you finish the contract, it's like, how much TV am I not doing? How much films am I not doing?
You can't do anything.
Exactly, can't change your hair or whatever it is. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
See,
No,
that's like the opposite. But again, it's personal choice, knowing what you're doing it for and what you want to get out of it. Do you have any personal restrictions, whether your height or skin colour or weight? I don't know, has anything ever cropped up?
The only restrictions mainly is, obviously with castings, it can be quite, I won't say racist or prejudiced, it can be quite stereotypical. So you're going for certain roles that black actor, black Afro-Caribbean, that's British, and it can be quite stereotypical. And then when they'll look for someone who's Caucasian, it could be a fantastic part, but already in their mind, they've already made the choice that we only want to give this to a white person. So it's a bit difficult to try and break that down. It's easier now than it was probably years and years ago, because you've got Black Panther. And you've got all the actors that are breaking the mold, but it's still, when you're on the way up, it's a bit difficult to break those stereotypes. And I probably think for black women it's probably even worse than it is for black. But I think so, because a lot of, if you're too dark, it's not good. If you're too light skinned, it's no good. If you're too short, it's no good. I can still be okay because I'm like, alright, it's fine. We got Denzel, we got Samuel, but if you look at how many black women that are actually making, especially British black women, maybe Tandy Newton, Lupita, but she's not really from Britain. But it's like it's not. There's not many that are still like doing
Why?
This is the question.
it. That's the restrictions. That's there.
It's about breaking that mold, and that's why I feel like I say to a lot of people, I feel like this could be my time, because I fit into that box of like there's a gap in the market. There is a niche at the moment, so
I think there's a need for more people to write their own work, and then they can break down more of their restrictions. So if you're producing, writing, you can cast yourself in whatever you want, or cast whoever you feel is right for the role, and not be part of the ongoing restrictions. I think that's the way forward.
have you not got something and you found out it's because I was just a bit too short? Or?
I mean, most of the things I apply for, I always look at the specifications. So if they, I'd rather they would just direct. Are they looking for a Caucasian woman? Are they looking for a woman as tall? I mean, it's hard for me because not just me, but many women. Well, let me talk about myself. I'm short.
No, really? I don't get that. Don't say that about yourself. I think you're average.
Is that because she's sitting down, Morgan?
Oh yes, that's true. If she was standing up, you'll probably be the same height. Sorry, I cut you off.
I'm of a shorter height. I've got short hair, short natural hair. I'm black, and I think those three things are quite difficult for people to cast. They're trying to find a role that would suits that.
I don't know, I was looking at you, you reminded me of her, Cynthia something.
Oh, who was in Bad Times at El Royale?
Oh, well, yeah.
And Widows. I forgot.
She's doing amazing at the moment. She reminds me of you, looking at you now, because I think she's quite short.
Short hair.
Short hair, literally.
And it's funny because people come to me and go, oh, do you know what? This is exactly what we're missing.
Look, yeah. We don't see enough of it on TV.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When do we ever see a black woman with short natural hair?
Well, it depends, like you said, what the brief says as well. But often, if I'm applying for castings myself, I'll look at it and it might say the girl next door type.
And it's like, what is the
girl next door? So I'd say to myself, I'm going to apply. Who knows what the girl... I could be the girl next door.
And I do that. I just think, actually, do you know what? It says they need someone who's 5'6" and look, size 8. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to apply.
Sometimes might be restricted in terms of like skills and abilities as well. I mean, like accents. I'm from the Caribbean, but I cannot do.
Awade.
That's all I can do. So, I mean, accents for me is something I really need to work on because I cannot.
Any accents? Are you good with?
Good northern accent. RP.
Oh, let's hear your RP.
What's RP?
RP is very standard and broad. darling. It's very much like this.
Royal pronunciation is
Oh,
the
wait, I'm not to
term.
do that. I'm sorry, darling.
You could if you really want.
I don't know why we're all shaking our
But
heads.
this is the thing, we would never need to because we wouldn't be in.
We would not. No, we would be the slaves.
That would be a different one, Master. Stop me,
That's
Master.
a different voice.
That's a different voice, then, Master.
No, but it's true. That drama that came on the other day, was it the Long Song? That again, I don't think.
I didn't watch that. Was it any good?
Well, it was just like I felt it could have shown more strength in the slaves. People feel like they can only do one type of thing, or financially, you might feel I haven't gone to drama school because I can't afford it. There might be other restrictions, but I think we potentially just restrict ourselves.
It's confidence as well, like you were saying. It's like you saying, go in for that role anyway. Just because it says girl next door or slim or
As
certain
soon as I
things
see
on
that,
tea
you
or
do think,
whatever,
oh well,
just go
not
for
for
it.
me.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in things happening for a reason, so I kind of feel like, what if I was the one that walked in that they thought, she'll be our wild card, and I walk in and then the whole script gets changed because they're like, she is perfect for what it is, and I truly believe that one day a role like that will just come to me.
Amen, sister.
My final question to you though: is it all worth the struggle?
Sitting here today, from the experiences I've had, yes, it is.
Good.
It is. If you really want it and you enjoy it, why not? You have to enjoy it to want to continue. If you're not enjoying it, what is the point?
We're all looking for something meaningful to do while we're here. We're always here for a short time. We always think it's going to be phenomenal.
It's deep, Morgan.
I know it's very deep, but
Wow.
if you can do something that you love and appreciate and really you want to do, doesn't matter what it is. If you want to do bricklaying, if you want to do nursing, if you just want to write, if you want to sing,
you want to be an extra,
if you just want to be an extra for the rest of your life and you love it and you love the hours and you're okay with everything,
go for it.
do it. But I genuinely love getting up in the morning and doing this rather than getting up and working in the office, because I did that for 10 years and I don't want to go back to it. So I'll do anything possible working wise to try and keep the happiness here and keep doing what I feel I was put on this planet to do.
And you said it then, happiness. That is why I do it. The struggle is all worth it because of the happiness, whether it's watching yourself back.
After watching your VT, just knowing from what you've told me how happy you were to get that role, and I was so happy for you.
Exactly.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
And I know you were really, really, really happy.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big moment.
That's how it felt for me, and who knows where this year will take me, but
It's coming.
I hope. That's the hope. This is called the actor's struggle, but there's struggles in all industries. And if you, like you were saying, if you really want something, you do have to struggle. Nothing comes easy. Exactly. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And
For having us.
that's a wrap. Yeah.
I hope today has given you a taste of the highs and lows of what to expect in the industry, but keep on struggling on and you will get there.